So, today we've got the CEO of a nonprofit advocacy institution with us. And I really think this story is fantastic because it demonstrates that no matter what industry you're in, Insightly can be easily customized to fit the needs of your business and help you run more efficiently. That's the topic for today's closing time. Thanks so much for tuning into Closing Time, the show for go-to-market leaders. I'm Melinda Prescher, Insightly's Director of Product and Customer Marketing. And today I have the pleasure of hosting another special Customer Spotlight edition of Closing Time. Whether you're a weekly Closing Time listener, an Insightly customer, or both, you'll find useful takeaways on how to use Insightly CRM. So now, without further ado, please welcome Neil Hatton of UK Screen Alliance. Hi, Neil. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Melinda. Good to speak to you again from here in not very sunny London at the moment. It's good to catch up. I think it's a couple of years since we last spoke.
We actually did a webinar together a while ago, to your point, and I'm so excited to have you back here and chat with you again and learn how things are progressing for you and your team. But first off, let's have you talk a little bit about UK Screen Alliance and what you all do.
Well, we were a membership organisation for companies working in the film and television industry in the UK. And we specialise particularly in companies that provide visual effects and animation and post-production services. So it's a pretty exciting sector. And we've had a very interesting ride over the last 5 years. Obviously, the pandemic years were very strange for us. We had a lot of companies were struggling to continue working. So it was interesting. And then when the pandemic finished, we had a huge boom where there was so much work that we were struggling to find all of the skilled people we needed to cover the work. And then in 23, it all stopped again. And particularly, we were quite heavily affected by the Hollywood actors strike, which stopped a lot of the business happening. It's all coming back now, and it's starting to get going again. But, as a membership organization that provides advocacy for its members, talking to government, people like that, it's really important that we have the contact details with our members so we can communicate with them effectively. And also, of course, when they're struggling, we can't put up our membership prices. So we have to run very lean, very efficient. And so that is why we have a very good CRM system right at the heart of our business.
That's great. I'd love to have you tell the audience first about how you got started with Insightly.
Well, when I started in this job, I found that our contact database was actually based on Excel. Lots of spreadsheets, lots of contact records that were out of date or incomplete or incompatible, duplicates, different people having trouble updating spreadsheets. So we had conflicting information and it was just not efficient at all. So having a CRM system right at the heart of the business is really important to us. And we chose Insightly, having looked at a couple of other systems. And I think we've made the right choice because we're still here, we're still using Insightly, and we're using more and more features every single day. And once we got to see AppConnect, that was a real game changer because that allowed us to be much more efficient in many of our processes because we've automated so much. It allows us to run really lean and efficient and make sure that we can serve our members to the best possible degree because we're not wasting time on administration. We're getting on with the relationship with our members and the relationship with legislators and government and doing all the policy work that is at the core of our business.
So, Neil, because your organization is a nonprofit, I know that you're always looking for ways to optimize, like you said, on cost so that you're delivering on your promise of value for your membership base. And I know you've got an enterprise license, which is Insightly's most robust plan. I'd love to have you tell the audience more about why the enterprise feature set is so important to you, why it delivers value for you, and how it helps you deliver great experiences to your membership.
Well, we actually use Insightly for all of our quotes and pro forma invoices and providing the invoices to our members, which we've automated through AppConnect. So we've used the entire suite. to create, all of our membership categories within Insightly. We've used lots of custom objects to create tables in which we can hold, information such as the subscription details and the history of those subscription details. So we've used a very wide variety of the Insightly features, and also, of course, we get the enhanced support because we don't want to have much downtime. So if we've got a problem, we can get straight onto the chat to Insightly and get an answer really quickly.
Neil, you've mentioned AppConnect a couple of times, and so I'd love to have you do a deeper dive on it. Can you please tell us more about all of the applications that you've integrated with Insightly using AppConnect?
Well, we use Insightly as the central application. That is our main source of truth, the only source of truth, because everything else sort of hangs off that. So the kind of applications that we've integrated are primarily the main one is QuickBooks Online. That has been integrated into our system. So in fact, we initiate a lot of our invoicing from Insightly using AppConnect, which then creates the records in our accounting system. So that's a really important thing. Why it's really useful for me is it saves me an awful lot of time on the first of the month, first working day of the month when we send out our invoices. This year, I remember in January, I think the first working day of January was January the 4th in the UK. So that's the day we were scheduled to send out our invoices. Now, actually, January in the UK is pretty dull, dark, and rainy, and so I prefer to get away and have a bit of a rest and recuperation. So I was actually in the Caribbean at the time. Woke up in the morning. There's my phone. All I can see in my phone is a list of invoices that AppConnect has created and sent using applications like FormStack, which we use as well. That has sent PDF copies of our invoices to our members, and that's without me doing anything at all. So I was very relieved to just see all of those invoices there, and then I could go back to my sunbed.
Neil, that sounds wonderful. And now you're really making me want to be on a beach in the Caribbean right now. What do you think in terms of using AppConnect and Insightly in general? How have these applications made an impact on your business?
Well, it gives us an overview. We use the dashboards quite a lot to see our progress on member retention and member attraction to our organization, and make sure that we're getting the growth that we expect. We've also, as I said, it's much more efficient. So my time is given back to doing what I should be doing in leading the organization rather than doing administrative tasks. But it also, we use it to log the participation of our members on Zoom calls. We get them to register through Zoom calls, and that attaches to their contact record inside Insightly. So we know who's been to all the different meetings and who are our most engaged members. So it really helps us to make sure we target those members, but perhaps not engaging as often, and make sure that we ensure that they get the best possible member experience. So it's had a huge impact on the way we run the company.
Neil, it's been so great to have you back on. In closing, I'd love to have you share any final thoughts about, what makes Insightly great. For anyone considering Insightly, what should they know about?
I think one of the features that we've really made a great use of is customizing Insightly to our needs. No matter what kind of business you're in, you're going to have different needs. And Insightly is extremely flexible at creating custom fields, custom objects, and you can work out, exactly the structure of the data which is most important to you in your business, and then create those objects. So you're collecting all the relevant data and reporting on that data as well. So you're getting the insights into your customers' behavior, and in our case, our members' behavior. And I think that's really important, being able to make informed business decisions and move the business forward.
Great. Thank you so much. It was so great to see you again.
It's my pleasure. Hopefully we can do it again in a couple of years and we'll have even more progress, and
Absolutely.
we'll still be using Insightly, I'm sure.
I love it. And thanks so much to all of you for tuning in. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Closing Time.